bam, fight commentary breakdowns. And we have two 14-ounce gloves, but they're different types. These are boxing gloves, and these are Muay Thai gloves. So we thought, let's compare them. We could maybe talk about some differences between boxing and Muay Thai. I think, well, yeah, we could do that. But, I mean, first of all, we could look at the aesthetics. This one's all black, and it doesn't have Sanabul. It just has the Sanabul logo on it. Whereas the boxing gloves, it's got the different colors. You can choose colors. Of course, I chose this color. It has both the Sanabul name and the logo. And 14 ounces says here, and here, very faintly, it says 14 ounces. And it also, this, you see, it's got a little area here. Yeah, a mesh area for air breathing. This does too, but the holes are kind of more hidden, if you see here. So it's breathable. Both of them are breathable. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to briefly, in case you guys know differences between Muay Thai and boxing. In Muay Thai, you use your elbows. You can clinch. You can kick. You can use your knees. Boxing is just fists.
I would say you're probably going to want definitely to wrap your wrists in this one. It's more of a training glove, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And this guy, you could probably get away with not wrapping your wrists unless you're throwing full speed. In which case, you're going to want to wrap your wrist. Mm-hmm. But this guy, definitely. Yeah. I mean, like... Look
at the bendiness.
Don't want that going backwards and all that stuff. But yeah, both of these, very, very comfortable. This guy, a little bit less flexibility in the wrist because it's got this strong support here in the back. Mm-hmm. This one has it too, but, it's got this extra flexibility in the wrist here.
For clenching.
Yeah, it's really dope. Really awesome. Super cool, guys. Thank you so much for this. This is really nice.
Definitely.
We're going to... and test them out.
Definitely. Thanks again, Sanabul. And maybe there's no definitive answer to this, but if someone wants to start training, should they do Muay Thai or should they do boxing? I guess it's almost a dumb question that I posed.
No, it's not dumb. Mm-hmm. It's just remember that every strike adds up. Like, so where you decide to train is important because you don't want to be doing full contact sparring when you first start out because all those little jabs, they all add up, so just be cognizant of that. You want somebody who's going to teach you the technique, ease you into it, give you training partners who are at your level, and who are careful to make sure that you're not taking unnecessary damage and all that sort of stuff. There's a certain process that's involved, so you don't want to just like get thrown in there and get your ass whooped because all that stuff does carry over. So just be aware of that. I would say, there's definitely bonuses to both training in both. Yeah. They're very, very different in their in their stances and technique and all that stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing for me, if I wanted to pick between different things, is just shop around, go to different schools, different arts, feel like which ones I feel comfortable with, both the people, the location, the instructor, the environment too. Some people, I was one time at a school and the instruction was amazing, the people were amazing, but the hygiene wasn't there. So I was like, I don't want to go home and have to like worry about getting, rashes and stuff like that. So I decided not to go with it. Right. But so you have to take care of yourself. Make sure you're making the best informed decision.
Sure, there's a fit for everybody and all that sort of stuff. And the other thing is like, there's something to be said about seeking out the people who have done what you want to do, that have already like achieved what you want to achieve. Cobrinha has a really good phrase that he always says, and it's like, champions train with champions. And I watched them do that. It's like these guys know how to make champions because they've already walked that path. They already know how to do it. So, not everybody's is in the limelight, so to speak, or front and center, and they don't have the advertisements necessarily, but they will have the experience, and you can tell immediately if they have the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I remember the first or second time I went to Cobrinha, BJJ, Chris Cyborg was there training in one of their no-gi classes, and I was like, well, this is the place. Like Rob says, this is where they train champions.
Right. What was one of the most influential things for me was watching. I once saw a party. It was Babalu's 40th birthday party, at Babalu's gym and Babalu BJJ, and somebody accidentally spilled a little bit of beer on the mats because they were, having a good time and weren't paying attention. But you know who cleaned it up? 2 champions. Verdum cleaned up the mats, literally wiped the mats down, and Rafael dos Anjos.
Wow.
So the 2 champions, while everybody else was having a good time and partying and all that stuff and not really paying attention, the 2 champions grabbed the cleaning supplies and washed down the mats.
Wow.
And that's what that's what you should look out for. You should look out for people who are always being students and always being courteous and respecting the gym and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and one final thing I would like to add is look at who is teaching the beginner intro classes.
Right.
I've gone to places where it's just some person, not the main professor or the person that this studio is named after, teaching the beginners. But then there's other places, the professor, the person that is representing this institution is teaching the beginners.
Yeah.
And it's very, very different. I remember when I was deciding whether I wanted to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or not, Rob gave me such good advice. He's like, dude, if you learn from a world champion versus his student, you're going to learn the techniques differently. And if you learn it wrong, it's going to take you longer to correct them. So try to learn with the best of the best, even when you're starting out. It's not like you have to work your way up. Some schools, spend like a year and then you get to train with the black belt or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I remember I learned more from Bob Bass, who was one of the original Dirty Dozen. I learned more from watching Bob Bass in 30 minutes that I had learned in 2 or 3 years. He just explained things so easily, and it's just like I just absorbed it, and I was like, wow, this guy is a wealth of knowledge. Same thing goes for Orlando Sanchez. Orlando trains the beginners. Like, he takes pride in taking people from white belt to black belt. You know what I mean? So I'm just really proud to know this. I'm proud to know Orlando, Babalu, all these guys who are champions that take great pride in developing people.
Yeah, and I remember I used to live in North Hollywood where D'Artagnan Bagby, also one of the original Dirty Dozen BJJ black belts, he taught. And he taught the little kids too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even like he had the students teach the kid class. He taught the kids. Mm-hmm. And one time I remember he showed me the difference between how he would teach a triangle versus, let's say, someone else. And you could feel it. Mm-hmm. Like the way he applied the leverage and the strength to the triangle.
Tiny little nuances.
Yeah, tiny little nuances. And I honestly still haven't felt that same kind of thing he did to me at other places because, he just had his, whatever striped black belt he was, he just had that experience showing me.
Yeah, lineage matters.
Yeah.
Lineage definitely matters. Know what the line is that you're training under for sure.
So those are some thoughts, man. Again, boxing or Muay Thai, kickboxing, whatever you want to do, train. It'll help you a lot. I talked to a neuroscientist, and he told me this sort of cross-lateral movement is so important for the brain. He told me that if you're able to do these cross-lateral movements, it's one of the first steps to keeping your brain growing.
Interesting.
That's why he recommends doing martial arts or doing dance or doing something that engages the cross-lateral. You know, when you're young, they tell you to rub your belly and do that. Stuff like that. This is stuff that you're engaging both sides. Your brain have to work with both sides of the body. Mm-hmm. So invest in that because that'll help you do work better. It'll help you sleep better. It'll help your mood, etc.
And if you're living in California, Southern California, like we are, you are in like the mecca of martial arts. There are so many good academies here. Fabricio's gym is literally on Lincoln and Venice, right? I think it's Lincoln and Venice. Lincoln, Washington, essentially, and Felipe Verdum is in there all the time, training the children, the intermediate class, the master class, and all that stuff. And it's like these are resources that people all over the world wish that they could have. And if you're living in Southern California, you've got great options, man. Great options. So don't miss out on them.
Exactly. So again, Sanabul,
thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And for those of you watching, I will get some kind of discount code or something for you guys, so that way you guys can get this equipment and get a little discount, and we can all win, and we can all keep training and loving whatever we learn. So thank you so much, guys. Fight Commentary Breakdowns.
Hey.